Okay, my name is Jennifer Brown. I am a digital soldier. I am coming to you live from Las Vegas with a update on a theory that I have as to why I feel that the Great Awakening is going to happen October 1st through October 10th. It's my theory, and also I'm going to give you links also to other people who are corroborating on this same theory and are mentioning this, who are also following the Q movement, as well as the update on the financial reset. So evidently, it's all supposed to happen all in coordinates with one another, both the financial reset here in America as well as the Great Awakening. Now, the reason that I feel that the Great Awakening is going to happen, we just came out with well, it's probably been out there for a while, but I have noticed that it's come out recently about the CPS investigation, the national investigation in regards to them having ties with human trafficking. Now, this was one of my first campaigns that I looked at in 2009. No, yeah, 2009. As I became an activist, my first campaign was CPS corruption. What I did notice and what I found out was that a lot of the things that were going on and the women that were losing their kids, first of all, didn't have the wherewithal to fight. And secondly, there was a lot of play to pay going on to put these, separate the mother from the child. I found out that a lot of manufactured evidence was going on in the court system, as well as I found out that many of the psychiatry community was being fed the back door with the foster kids, and the original, or the mom rather, was expected to go to that same agency on the other side. So who's your daddy? You know, pay to play, right? Color us happy with the negative report on the mom. We'll feed you kids through the back door. But it even, I found even worse as well, independent psychiatrists that were working in conjunction with CPS. If they wanted repeat business, they had to color happy the report against the mother. We also found out that a lot of manufactured evidence was going on daily with their log, a big log book that they were supposed to present at the end of the year as they held the child away from the mother. And that we're finding out a lot of that is manufactured evidence. They'll switch up the caseworkers so it'll look like all of them are talking about the same kind of activities that the mother is not doing correctly. So it looks like there's no, deception going on. So, but they all know that the narrative is to get the case against the mother. We also found out that there are, as well, play to pay money for the therapist, not therapists, but the CPS workers, rather, that they cannot climb up the ladder if they don't increase their numbers of the children that they take away from the parents. So that it becomes an incentive. Every quarter, that number has to increase, no matter what the year prior. So what you're getting is a lot of mothers that don't have the wherewithal to fight in court, as well as manufactured evidence laid up against them, and the exploitation of the child from which to everybody gets paid, from the judges to both sides of the court, and so on and so forth. The foster care parents as well. So what we're finding out with the CPS as well, back in 2009, when I was doing my research, I was scrolling down list of children in the foster care system that had died. And no one knew why. Okay. Some of them were, doing the apparatus mundi, which we always hear about: suicide, homicide, not homicide, but suicide, or fabricated medical condition. However, Right now, the CPS is under investigation for feeding children into the human trafficking rings. What I just came up with yesterday and realized, which I did not know, is that many of the therapists, when they get these children in these play-to-pay systems, they're finding out that the children that are in there for abuse, for sexual abuse, the actual therapists themselves during satanic holidays are feeding them back into the human trafficked satanic ritual abuse systems, in by which, guys, that the kids are then mind controlled and the kids are supposed to kill one another for satanic ritual abuse. Now, we've known in satanic ritual abuse, kids killing kids is a normal thing. So they get them on mind control, and then the kids kill the other kids. So this could be, as we know, that whole families end up with all the brothers and sisters end up in the foster care. Not the families, but the brothers and sisters, the siblings. So it could be that the siblings are required to kill their own siblings. Now, this in a satanic world would be considered really an honor to get them under mind control to do this to one another, because it's more of even a sacrifice of where they took that kid and that kid was forced to kill its own brother or sister. So these are normal practices, and being that this election is coming up, and everyone's hanging from a rope, from Hollywood to news media, to politicians, to royalty, to 39 cardinals from the Pope, and other political leaders around the world are getting a file placed in front of them of 1 foot of evidence of DVDs, CDs, text messages, NSA database evidence of what they've been involved in. This is one of the reasons why everybody is working around the world with this president. They're also having to sign on and working. They've all submitted to him because our military has to go 4.2 miles below and taking out the 1,400 military bases where all this money from satanic ritual abuse is being made, because all this satanic ritual abuse is going down below in the dark web, from what I understand, a lot of it. Also, they're paying big money. These elite, sick elite from around the world are paying big money to see the crimes happen, either in person and or online. So this is one of the things that we found. Even politicians were involved, such as Hillary Clinton, in by which they are trying to produce, get the extraction of adrenochrome. Adrenochrome can only be produced if you deskin the child while it's alive, and then that it excretes the blood of the specific chemical in the blood, which reverses aging and gets the victims high. So there was a Hillary and another politician that was found on Weiner's laptop under a file name. If you look at Jennifer Brown LinkedIn, you will find that file name. What the name of it is, I can't remember right now, but I've posted it yesterday. So this is why the police officers that knew of this file were executed, or assassinated rather, because they're trying to cover up crimes. Guys, this is also the reason why the character assassination on this president is also happening. So when you got to ask yourself, why is the media lying? Why have they been lying about something that's been going on for 45 years? So when President Kennedy did his press speech and begging the media to please not sell us down the river, and telling you, we the people, that we're opposed to around the world against monolithic oath secret societies, in by which there's a tightly knit machine between corporations, which would be media, and other corporations which are helping with targeting adults by electromagnetic frequency weapons, similar to or exactly that of what they did to the U.S. Embassy agents that worked in China and Cuba. There are many crimes against humanity that's going on. It's not just involving sex slavery, human trafficking, kids, but it is also involving adults. The adults that in the targeted individual community, which are now deemed as human trafficked adults, have been screaming to the media and to journalists and reporters, and no one is reporting this. The reason being is because the journalists have been controlled by rogue CIA since 1946. So any level, what that means is any levels of or any black op operations that are derived to or designed to kill and wipe us out, through genocide purpose, is not to be talked about. Any crimes of humanity that are 300 million plus are not to be mentioned. Any volumetric crimes against humanity are not allowed to be spoken about. Now they have signed on to contracts, according to what as former CIA Kevin Shipp said, they are signing on to contracts in by which with corporations, with the military industrial complex, rogue CIAs, and so on and so forth, and etc., and in by which there is no whistleblower protection for these individuals. So Kevin Shipp, he explained that once you do this and you say something, they will manufacture evidence against you and imprison you, and or worse, which means, of course, assassination. This is why a lot of scientists and politicians and others have been killed. Now, I do believe, because of this has been the most important election, in the satanic community believes that if they kill more people during the satanic holiday, which is their biggest time, is coming up in October, of course, Halloween, and they do these things evidently throughout the October holiday. So this would be why I believe that the financial entity that I'm listening to, or group that I'm listening to about the financial reset, they're saying that it takes about 10 days all over the globe for this to happen. So that would be in correlation to exactly the 10 days of darkness, which I believe is going to be from October 1st through the October 10th. Meaning I agree with them. And the reason by which I believe that is because this is the most important time for them to sacrifice everything that they can get their hands on. And they're talking about in this, through this financial reset group that I'm following, which I might add, I got this link from an insider high up in Washington, okay? I'll tell you right now who that is. I got it from, if you recognize the Twitter page, the picture of JFK now, one of his Twitter pages, he is stating that JFK Jr., is whom I'm talking about, will be announced at the rally on the 17th as the vice president. What happened to Pence? Well, it's being rumored that he also had ties to some of these crimes against humanity. So with that being said, now is the time to watch out in your community for any strange ongoings dealing with children, high school kids, grade school kids. It's not just the kids, though, guys. They're willing to rape, sodomize, torture anyone, adult and or children or anyone. So we have to keep a lookout for one another. This is not a time from which to put up your hand. I'm not responsible. Because yes, you are responsible. It's the rent that you pay to be on this planet, and you are responsible. So I'm going to be providing links, as well as other patriots and digital soldiers, on the satanic abuse and the backing up the claims that I'm making, because it is important. It is very important to get this information out. Okay, this is why the Great Awakening is being done through Executive Order 10995, and that basically essentially is an executive order that was comprised for continuity of government, or COG, capital C-O-G. I pitched this to the White Hats 2.5 years ago. they've taken an interest in me because of some other documents that I have sent, and in hoping to save lives, because I'm a just-in-case girl. It's not that I don't trust my government. It's just that I don't know that what they do and don't know because of so much censorship going on out there. So in by which that I've done that, I have been able to reach out to them when I need to send out information. It doesn't get censored as much or held back. So that executive order is on the books, and basically it means that it takes over all FCC regulations or devices, your cell phone, your internet, and your television. This is what we're going to be doing internationally with the Great Awakening, in by which we're supposed to get out the information about what's being done to the kids, from being locked up in cages to being bounded by masking tape to where they were raped so bad they were deformed. Many of them were kept below in cages in complete darkness. Even their eyes and their ears didn't develop. You guys, this is why the tens over New York City, they were rescuing these kids from 4.2 miles below. Again, 4.2 miles below the surface, because that's where these dumbs are located. That's how deep they are located. To get an idea on the what's going on, you can go to Blessed to Teach. Basically, essentially, all this drug running and weapon running and weapons, gun running and satanic ritual abuse. Satanic ritual abuse bringing the most in, trillions upon hundreds of trillions of dollars in annually to pay for the special access programs, which were to derive to and being developed to take out the human race. We are not about with just, Black Lives Matter being the only ones victimized. I'm sorry to have to report to you today. It's all lives on. We're at the brink of extinction with the human race, and our military, hoorah to our brave men and women, the constitutionalists who are defending against all enemies, foreign and domestic, who are right now fighting to not only save the children from below. And guys, this is what all the ventilators were for, because many of the children were dying as we were bringing them up to surface. Okay, this was what Comfort and Mercy were all about. Okay, this is going to come out. All this stuff is going to come out October 1st through October 10th. So we need to pray for our brave men and women, our special ops operations that are going on right now, not only in extracting and getting the people for being to be arrested, which I might add, most stars, most people in Hollywood, most politicians, royalty, and others alike. Even George Soros has been executed. What you are seeing is CGI, Hollywood special effects technology, and Photoshop and things of that nature, and other technology, which I'm not going to mention today because you will totally put everything I'm saying in the Fruit Loop basket. So we've been lied to, guys, about a lot in our history, a lot in our colleges. In fact, most of the professors that are talking about truth are becoming targeted individuals, and by which they're being hit with radiation 24/7 deployment through EMF, electromagnetic frequency weapons. I am one of them. I'm still being hit today. I ended up homeless for 5 months in the park, in lieu to the fact that now at the end of my targeting, they are calling my employers, because my file's at FISA court, because FBI fusion centers are manufacturing these files against innocent citizens. As ACLU said, watch the list. Innocent Americans are being put on this list. But it's very egregious, because once your file gets to FISA court, you are surveilled digitally 24/7 a day. You are also followed by boots on the ground, by play-to-pay operatives such as Antifa, not by Antifa members, but just like Antifa, because we know that they're pay-to-play, as well as BLM. And these three, and also tortured by EMF radiation. They call it remote neuro monitoring or surveillance. That's what they're calling it. So all three of these things are called surveillance. And this is how far it got and how bad it got, in by which FISA court even targeted the President of the United States. Now, they didn't torture him, I don't believe, but he was through the first two systems, which is digital surveillance of all his his devices, emails, hearing everything that he does in front of his phone, seeing everything he does in front of his phone. Now, I had a videotape from ABC, a small documentary clip on how advanced that technology is, in by which it said it can even listen in with your battery pulled. Okay. And if no matter if an agent goes to work or not, 8 hours later, they can come in and put in their username and password and pull up any information. So essentially, with targeted individuals or anyone that has their file at FISA court illegally, I might add, they have access to all passwords, all usernames, all conversations, all phone calls, all of their contacts of and information, everything. So it's very, very egregious. We have a lot of human rights abuses going on right now through with children, elderly, senior citizens, innocent citizens of America. It's gotten bad because we've gotten so complacent in putting our hand up and going, I'm not responsible. I don't have to look at it, and I don't care. And they're saying to themselves, I don't care how much information you have with your constitutions within the CIA or your military intelligence or your government documents, because my journalist hasn't said it yet. I can throw it in the screw it basket, and I don't have to be responsible. I don't have to look at it. Well, yes, you do have to look at it. And because you didn't, we're going to sit your ass down and show you internationally what's going on now, what's been going on with the human rights violations. So here's what's going to happen. If you don't catch up and get out from underneath the rock that you're under and stop being the mouthpiece of the deep state and doing horrible crimes against humanity, you are going to have a hard way to go moving forward. I know that it's your right to know, and it's at your time that you will waken up. We are going to provide you, however, links and places where to go to get the truth. Okay. And to prove our case in points, you're going to see a lot of it. There's going to be 3 8-hour segments rather of information pertaining to some of the people who've been tried at military tribunals. These are the tribunals that were set up just like Nuremberg, and they are not just for the United States, guys. They are internationally. Court TV or a film crew like Court TV has been there filming the whole time. We have every one of these guys' testimonies and what they have done in crimes against humanity. You're getting ready to see some of those testimonies. So it's time to wake up. It's time to get out from underneath your rock, okay, and start listening to the truth, because you not sharing on your social media of what's going on, you are actually essentially putting your own future generations in harm's way. So the gatekeepers need to stop and shutting down the information. You need to wake up and you need to be responsible, because the rent that you pay on this planet is to become a responsible adult and expose the crimes against humanity that are happening in your communities, in your cities, in your state, in your nation, and around the globe. That is your responsibility. And if I get my way, and I'm going to try real hard, everyone will have to submit to that and take their oath. Around the globe. Because you guys, you cannot keep throwing everything in the I'm not responsible and I don't have to look at because I'm not educated and don't want to be. No, you need to be educated. You need to get out of these illusions of grandeur and these illusions of that you are above everyone else and in your knowledge set. We all have a lot to learn. I cried myself to sleep last night because I realized that even I dropped the ball. Even though I spent a year on the research, I didn't evidently dig far enough in by which how CPS was culpable in crimes against humanity in the extent that they are. So we're all going to feel feelings of remorse. We're all going to feel feelings of apathy. Why we didn't do more, why we didn't stand up more. So, as this comes to light, I want you guys to know that you have the ability now to be that hero in your family, to be that person that stands up, to be that person in your family unit that protects your family unit and did something by sharing this information on social media. Now, it may be that Twitter, Google, and YouTube may be shut down once we come back online. It's It's going to be a whole new internet system in by which censorship is not going to be the bots aren't going to be there anymore. So this is a lot of protections in our way. It's part of Gia Nasara, and the financial new system of the gold-backed dollar is supposed to be happening at the same time. The best is yet to come, but I do need you to understand this is our 8th time in trying to take down the deep state. This has been in plans for years and years and years and years, and there are a lot of heroes that are going to come out. There's one in by which one man helped save America, one man. So if you think that you're just one person, what can one person do? No, you can do a lot. You need to step up for your family, your family's generation, and you need to help protect our freedoms and sovereignty in America. So again, my name is Jennifer. I'm a digital soldier. And my theory is that this Great Awakening will be happening October 1st through October 10th. We also have John F. Kennedy Jr. giving us hints, dropping us hints about the 10 days of darkness. The source that I got was from his wife. I'm not going to tell you what page, but I know I don't talk to either one of them. There is no comms. It was from Twitter, and when she or he speak, listen, I listen up. You know what I'm saying? I trust them with my life, and I know that they mean the betterment of humanity moving forward, as does Trump. So, just understand that if you're still going to badmouth this man who's saving humanity, number one, your children's future, number two, and all that he has done, you're really going to be made fun of, I think, moving forward in the future. And you may be even considered a mouthpiece of the deep state for the crimes against humanity to continue. So we're going to find out who those people are. But understand, we understand that you need your time. You need to do the research, and we understand that. The digital soldiers will be here for you to answer any questions that you may have moving forward. We hope that in love and light that you open up your hearts and you open up your minds to the truth, and that you're no longer brainwashed by the mainstream media. I do also believe that the mainstream media moving forward after the 10 days of darkness will be completely changed. And we'll just have to wait and see how that develops. But I don't believe that basically the Democratic media and I'm going to say all of them across the board, they have been compromised, guys, and they've been compromised for a very, very long time. Now, I will tell you of the source that's getting out some of this of what I've been telling you about crimes against humanity. They are starting to come out on Fox News, but however, one of your best sources probably would be to go to Q Alerts or on internet and follow there. So your best nightly news I would suggest to follow at this point is X22 Report. I think it's nightly news. He had to create a new channel on YouTube because of the censorship. But he does have a web page. He does have a Twitter page. X22 Report will break down all the news all the new Q drops that have happened. Now it's coming out that a lot of what they're getting is it's basically giving you little breadcrumbs from intel of the past to catch you up so that you can do research. But this is not a lot of the drops are going to be, some of them are going to be to where you can't understand them completely, but many of them you can get what they're saying. So you can do a search bar, search in looking up certain topics. Also, don't forget QMap.pub. So, and when Rogue FBI comes out and says that the group is terroristic, remember whom I told you that the group was manufacturing evidence against innocent citizens and sending their files to FISA court. Right now, all the community-based agents also, there's been a Gestapo program in the United States for 45 years. The group is called Gang Stalkers. That's their popular name here. In Europe, they're called community-based agents. It has been told by MI6 at a conference of Ronnie Kildee, who they killed. She was the head of her Health and Human Services Department in Finland. They killed her via heart attack, just like they hit those U.S. Embassy people. Raise your hand if you hadn't heard about that. It was all over the news, okay? It's an invisible system. It's called Remote Covert Technologies, or electromagnetic frequency, and they are radiation deployment. So what I'm getting at is that the MI6 officer said that no gang stalker has the right to natural death. So what is happening to them is as soon as they sign up, they are being hit 24/7 by a fingerprintless technology, in by which radiation is being beamed to their head to control them with Manchurian Candidate mind-controlled technology. Mind control never sat down. The group that's ahead of it now is called Aquarian Project Group, and you can find information as well as that on that in the qmap.pub and Q Alerts through this internet page through searches. There is also Storm is Upon Us videos. I would suggest that you follow him on Twitter, as well as John F. Kennedy Jr. If you can find him, he's got a picture. It's a reddish background. He has a beard on, and I think it's something like something retoucher. Retoucher is in the name. Okay, so if you don't have that, then so I'd follow that one, and Storm is Upon Us. If you go to the Storm is Upon Us videos on YouTube, you will find that the voice that's narrating there is exactly identical to John F. Kennedy Jr. So there are also, just so you know, that the John F. Kennedy Jr. Or John F. Kennedy gravesite, when you do an aerial view, it is in the shape of a Q. Also, you have a picture of John with President Trump back in years ago. And if you look and you go in on the tie, there is a little Q, cursive capital Q on his tie. We also have pictures of from the rallies of Vincent Busca, which is he's done in Hollywood makeup, along with Caroline Kennedy, his wife. Caroline hasn't changed much at all. Her beautiful smile is still there. You guys, it's really awesome. This is the greatest time in history to be alive. But I wanted to give you this theory of mine, in by which I believe that the Great Awakening is going to happen October 1st to October 10th. It only makes